Wacky Wednesday.
There are very few places in the world that have absorbed as much emotion as hotels. They see joy of families on vacation to the desperation of drug dealers and prostitutes alike. From terrifying spirits who appear behind visitors in the rooms they sleep in, to a white-haired bellhop helping guests only to vanish before they have a chance to tip him. We take a look at 20 haunted hotels you don't want to visit. Number 20. BALLYGALLY Castle Hotel, Northern Ireland. Built in 1625, BALLYGALLY Castle might have a less than intimidating name, but it possesses quite a formidable history. One of its former residents was James Shaw, husband of Lady Isabel. Poor Isabel is said to have crossed her husband somehow, and Shaw had his wife imprisoned in the turret room where, starving to death, she flung herself out the window to her dorm. Lady Isabel has since proven a very active presence in the castle, appearing frequently to guests and knocking on guest doors at odd hours. James Shaw himself might also be present, and it is rumoured that he was poisoned inside the castle. Also, another spirit, one Madame Nixon, has been seen in a swirling, elegant dress. The mischievous laughter of children has also been heard tinkling throughout the hallways. Number 19. Russell Hotel, Sydney, Australia. Australia has had a rough and tumble history with its origins as a British penal colony. The Russell Hotel shares those same dark origins. It served as a hospital during the deadly outbreak of smallpox and bubonic plague, and later became a rooming house and hostel for sailors. Guests of room 8 report waking up to find a dark presence looming over their bed, peering down at them. Others claim to have seen the ghost of prostitutes wandering the hall or opening doors and then closing them. Some claim that the recent renovations on the old sandstone building have only served to rile up the old spirits. Number 18. AKASAKA Weekly Mansion, Tokyo, Japan. The Japanese have always been serious about their ghosts, and Tokyo has been the home of tales regarding the faceless ghost. A terrifying spirit who appears normal until a person approaches. When it turns to acknowledge you, it exposes a white face completely blank of features. One of the most haunted places in Tokyo is rumoured to be the AKASAKA Weekly Mansion, an extended stay apartment where guests have reported apparitions, ghostly mists, and feelings of disembodied hands touching them while they sleep. Number 17. Hotel Castello della Castelluccia, Rome, Italy. One of the world's most ancient cities, more blood has been spilled on the soil of Rome than nearly anywhere else on Earth. A renovated 11th century castle described by some guests as something out of a fairy tale has experienced its fair share of history, changing hands many times and serving as the home to many upper-class families. But this legacy has left its shadows. It is said to be haunted by 3 ghosts, possibly including the mad Emperor Nero who wanders through the gardens, and guests have reported seeing spectral horses passing by in the night. Number 16. Hotel Chelsea, New York. The Hotel Chelsea was built between 1883 and 1885. Although it was the home of countless artists, authors, poets, and musicians, it was probably best known as the place where Sex Pistols basshead Sid Vicious stabbed his girlfriend Nancy to death. Vicious himself died of a heroin overdose before the case could be brought to trial. And poet Dylan Thomas was staying at the Chelsea when he fell into his fatal coma. He died later in hospital. But it's possible Sid Vicious and Dylan Thomas never left Hotel Chelsea after all. Their ghosts have been spotted wandering the halls at night. Other guests have reported all manners of paranormal phenomena, from cold air to phantom footsteps to lights that switch on and off at will. The Hotel Chelsea is currently closed to new residents while undergoing renovations. Number 15. The Stanley, Colorado, USA. This creepy hotel inspired one of the greatest horror novels of all time, The Shining. Legend has it that when Stephen King and his wife stayed here, they briefly left their hotel room only to return and find their suitcase unpacked and their things stowed away in the closets. Guests said the hotel include the ghost of a woman who froze to death in the basement, and the building's former owner, F.O. Stanley, roams the halls supervising the hotel from beyond the grave. Number 14. Karosta Prison Hotel, Latvia. Bring your nerves of steel if you plan on spending the night in this former military prison. Used by the Nazis and the Soviets, the prison walls still depict the graffiti of former prisoners, which makes for chilling bedtime reading. And guests will have company in the form of a ghost of a woman who hung herself after learning her fiancé was executed here. Number 13. Hotel del Coronado, USA. Investigators have yet to solve the mystery behind the unusual activity reported at this hotel following an unexplained death of Kate Morgan, who was found dead just days after she had checked in. Guests who have stayed in her room have witnessed the flickering of lights, the television turning on by itself, and even a woman standing by the window. This resort, built in 1888, has had a host of famous visitors, including former presidents, and guests continue to see ghosts throughout the hotel to this day. Number 12. The Crescent Hotel, Arkansas, USA. Ghost hunters should book a night in room 218 of this hotel to meet Michael. Legend has it that Michael reaches for guests from the bathroom mirror, and he is said to be one of the ghosts of a stone mason who fell to his death during construction of the hotel. A former cancer hospital, the Crescent Hotel is haunted by the ghosts of former nurses who can be seen pushing corpses around on gurneys. And guests often wake up to find their clothes scattered about the room. Number 11. The Chillingham Castle, England. The appropriately named Chillingham Castle is definitely not for the faint-hearted. Guests can visit the torture chamber where traitors met a grisly end on their executioner's block, which still remains in place along with various items such as thumbscrews and eye gouges. And its current owners market the castle as being the most haunted castle in Britain. The most famous ghost of the castle is the Blue or Radiant Boy, who, according to owners, used to haunt the Pink Room in the castle. And guests supposedly report seeing blue flashes and or a blue halo light above their beds after hearing a loud wail. It is claimed that the haunting ceased after renovation work revealed the bones of a man and a young boy inside a 10-foot thick wall. Number 10. Le Pavilion Hotel, New Orleans. Built in 1907, the hotel's website describes it as a place where guests can instantly conjure the days of gentle luxury, romantic evenings, and glittering nights. Guests might also have a brush with the dead. The Le Pavilion is reportedly haunted by at least 5 different ghosts. The most famous of these is Ada, a tearful teenage spirit killed by a runaway carriage who has been known to bump into people in the lobby, claiming to be lost, then vanishing. Ada might even predate the construction of the hotel itself, and witnesses claim that she's dressed in the style of the mid-1800s. Number 9. La Fonda Hotel. The current La Fonda Hotel was built in 1922 on the site of the previous inns. For more than 40 years, from 1926 to 1968, La Fonda was one of the famous Harvey houses, a renowned chain of fine hotels. Today, the La Fonda Hotel was said to host not only travelers visiting Santa Fe, but also several ghosts. Some people believe that the Honorable Judge Sloth continues to walk its hallways. However, most often reported as the ghost of the distraught salesman who jumped into the well after losing all of his company's money. Number 8. Fairmont Banff Springs Hotel, Canada. Located high in the Canadian Rockies, the Fairmont Banff Springs Hotel calls to mind a beautiful medieval castle in the wilderness. The Fairmont management denies any ghostly activities, but stories abound. One spirit frequently witnessed is that of a bride allegedly killed in a tragic accident right before walking down the aisle. The other, far more whimsical tale involves an elderly bellhop named Sam Macaulay. Sam so adored the hotel that, after he passed, he continued to work there. Some guests report a white-haired bellhop helping them, only to vanish before they have a chance to tip him. Number 7. Queen Mary in California. The Queen Mary was the premier ocean liner for transatlantic travel, carrying celebrities of all types. During World War II, it was painted grey and used as a troop ship, but after the war was over, it was returned to its former grandeur. The Queen Mary was retired from service in 1967 and permanently docked in Long Beach, California, where it became a floating hotel. Although dozens of people died on the ship over the years, including at least 2 men crushed by a door in the engine room. Ghostly women in 1930s styled bathing suits are often spotted around the swimming pool, and telephones ring without benefit of callers. And the forlorn cries of children are heard in the night. Unlike many hotels which downplay alleged paranormal activity, the Queen Mary embraces its spectral residents, offering daily ghost tours. Number 6. Talbot Hotel, England. Being noted as one of the most haunted hotels in England, it contains objects from a former castle that existed in the 1500s. Most notable was the castle's oak staircase, which found its way into this hotel. Legend has it that a woman named Mary walked down those very stairs on the way to her own execution, leaving the mark of a crown on the wood from a ring she was wearing at the time. And even though she had been dead for over 400 years, Mary has not slept easy. Her ghost has been seen walking down that very staircase. Furniture has been moved around, and a portrait of Mary has been known to leap from the wall. Number 5. Hollywood Roosevelt Hotel. The Roosevelt Hotel is one of the most famous hotels in Los Angeles and one of the most haunted places in the world. The Roosevelt is nearly as famous for its big-name ghosts, including Marilyn Monroe and Montgomery Clift. And some of the haunting activities include Marilyn Monroe's ghost has been seen reflected in a mirror in room 229 and dancing in the hotel's ballroom. Montgomery Clift's ghost is thought to haunt room 928, where he stayed while filming the movie From Here to Eternity, and can still be heard playing his trumpet. One guest who stayed in that room felt patting on her shoulder by an unseen hand as she lay in bed reading. Number 4. Hawthorne Hotel, Massachusetts, USA. Located in the infamous town of Salem, where 20 women were hung during the witch trials of 1692, the Hawthorne Hotel sits on the site of a former apple orchard belonging to Bridget Bishop, who was one of those first women to be executed. Guests staying at the hotel report seeing the ghost of a crying child in their room, and others have felt the touch of invisible hands. Number 3. Pluckley, England. Pluckley is a village in Kent, England, near Ashford, and while it is relatively small, it has been classified as the most haunted village in England, with at least 12 recorded hauntings and another 4 potential ghosts. There has been many tragic deaths in the village, and the odd concentration may be due to the location of the village in terms of magnetism in the ground. Paranormal activity is believed to flourish in areas of strong geological magnetism. A phantom coach and even horses have been rumoured to appear at the top of a hill, and brave guests can take a walk in the nearby Screaming Woods. Number 2. The Ragged Cot, England. This coaching inn is said to be haunted by the spirits of a mother and a child who died at the property. One night, a former landlord of the inn decided to rob a stagecoach heading to London. His wife tried to dissuade him from doing so and went after him, holding her baby in her arms. As the man pushed her aside, both his wife and child fell to their deaths down the stairs. Mortified, he hid their bodies in a trunk. He was arrested for the robbery, but as he was led away by the police, it was said that the ghosts of his wife and child were seen walking back up the stairs. Number 1. The Langham Hotel in London. London's Langham Hotel opened in 1865 and has been visited by several greats, including Mark Twain, Oscar Wilde, and Arthur Conan Doyle. It has also reportedly been frequented by a number of ghosts, the most common of which is a sighting of a man in Victorian evening wear in room 333 who apparently appears only during the month of October. Another guest claimed to have seen the figure of a man in military attire standing by the window on the 4th floor, which is said to be the ghost of a German prince who jumped out of a window before the start of the First World War. It is also believed that Napoleon III, another former guest, haunts the basement of the hotel. The hotel is said to be one of the most ghostly places in the world, and for that reason has to be one of the most haunted hotels you don't want to visit.